What is happening, guys? Chrisman GG here, and today I have a very special deck for you. This is a Jurassic Park deck profile. You may have seen it being mentioned a couple of times around the Facebook groups, but I'm going to show you my list, my take on it, and basically explain why this card is a thing and why you should either consider playing it or watch out for it at future events. So starting off with the main monster, Rampardos. It is a dinosaur, or a fossil at least, thus the name. And 150 HP, stage 2, so it is pretty hard to knock out because your opponent does not get the aid of Choice Band. For 1 fighting energy, clean hit, 60 base damage if your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon, namely Zoroark. His attack does 60 more damage, so because of weakness it will be taking a clean hit, pun intended, on a Zoroark, knocking it out, but it can also amass damage on stuff like Vikavolt, again to take the knockout, or any other evolution Pokemon that you are going against, but that is the main uses for any card that can knock out Zoroark with 1 energy. Thus Lucario is a good card in my book. For its next attack of 3 fighting energy, Wild Crash. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it is immediately knocked out. So with Rampardos, you've got the 2 attacks that handle either evolution Pokemon or basics, so stuff like Volk, Bulu, Buzzwole. Wild Crash is a very good attack, and you can take quite a lot of prizes very rapidly with Rampardos. So now that we've seen the boss monster deck, let's talk about ways you can play it. So obviously you have to play the pre-evolution. This is Rampardos. It is a stage 1. Just keep in mind that this deck does not really play any basic Pokemon. That is both a strength and a weakness because it has to evolve from the fossil. So it has to go stage 2. I'm fairly certain you can use Rare Candy on the card. Don't quote me on this. I have included Rare Candy in the deck. If this is not the case, you can of course take out Rare Candy if you wish. Corkscrew Punch, base 30, that will be knocking out Zoruz, which is definitely not bad at all. Head Strike, 2 fighting energy for 50 damage. And because we're not playing any basic Pokemon, it means that you will always be starting with Talonflame. Gale Wings, if this Pokemon is in your hand when you're setting up to play, you may put it as your active Pokemon. As I say, you're not playing any basic Pokemon, so you will be guaranteed a Talonflame every single game. You may have to go through a couple of mulligans with the opponent, but since you don't play Bridget, you can use N on your very first turn, which is sweet, so that mitigates the effects of the mulligan. Aero Blitz, search deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. This is extremely important for setting up because you don't have any basics, you don't have Bridget, so you have to kind of wait a couple of turns before you can eventually start putting down your important Pokemon, and free retreat. So as soon as you get your Rampardos set up, you can retreat directly into it and start doing damage. So we've talked about the Pokemon, it is very little. We're moving on to the trainers. For the supporters, we have 3 Guzma, 3 Cynthia, 3 N, 3 Sycamore, and 1 Skyla. No Bridget, so you have more flexibility to play a chalkier line of the other supporters, Cynthia and Sycamore, because you don't have any non-supporter draw in this deck, so you kind of need to play as much as you can without obviously clunking and cluttering. Sycamore is good and bad because there is some cards you don't really want to discard, like Puzzle of Times or Rampardoses that aren't getting out just yet. That's where Cynthia come in to do that, but there is just times you really just want to get a fresh new hand, so Sycamore is important. Skyla, you play a lot of items in this deck because you have so much room with playing a very light Pokemon line, so Skyla becomes really good at searching like tons and tons of cards, stuff like Ultra Ball, which we're starting off the items with. 4 Ultra Ball, 1 Super Rod for putting back in Rampardoses, Granados, etc. 1 Pal Pad, because you need to put in your supporters like Skyla, Cynthia, a lot. The game can become grindy. As I say, I'm playing 4 Rare Candy. I'm not 100% sure on if you can use Unidentified Fossil as a basic 2 Rare Candy. If you cannot, Rare Candy is just an auto cut for a range of different cards, which I'll talk about in a minute. But let's talk about Identified Fossil. This is what you are going to evolve your Rampardos up from. Play this card. If it were a 60 HP basic Pokemon at any time during your turn before you attack, you may discard this card from play. This card cannot retreat, so if you are wanting to retreat it, basically you have to discard it, which is okay, I guess, if it's starting to take damage, because I think this card does surrender a prize card as well, unlike the old fossil card. So if there is like 50 or 5 damage counters on it, you can discard it and no problem, denying your opponent some prizes. The thing with this card is I believe it could be rare candied. It's because it is part of Cranados's evolution. It actually says unidentified fossil, so surely that would be treated as a basic. As I say, I could be wrong. This is kind of more complex than Rampardos going Ralts, Kirlia, Gardevoir. So like I said, if I am wrong about rare candy, absolutely no problem. You can cut it for stuff like max elixir. You can tweak about your energy line to play more basics, play a chunkier supporter line. There's lots of things you can cut rare candy for, so that is no problem if I am wrong. But if I am right, rare candy is invaluable to the deck for getting out your Rampardos ASAP, because you are so far behind. Identified Fossil, when it is played, I believe it is played as a new Pokemon, so you cannot go straight from Identified Fossil into Cranados, which is a crying shame. But yeah, that's one of the weaknesses of the deck for playing no basic Pokemon. 4 puzzle time, because Unidentified Fossil is not a Pokemon, so you need ways to recycle items, and puzzle time is the best card for doing that. So when you're trying to set up multiple Rampardos, you want puzzle time to get back your Unidentified Fossil so you can start taking it to your opponent. Because there is no Bridget, you need to play ways to search the Unidentified Fossil, and unfortunately the best card for that is our Odorpad. Odorpad is a coin flip, which is why I do not like the card, but it is a necessary evil. Flip a coin. If you search your deck for an item card, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. Pretty straightforward card. But like Super Scoop Up, which is a necessary card, like Solicario, you do have to live with a coin flip. You can get really slacky and get all your coin flips right, or on the complete opposite end, you can get really unlucky and get them all wrong, which is just a shame. One Rescue Stretcher for recycling back in the Cranados and Rampardos, so you can send them out again. 2 Floatstone, it's not really necessary 100%, but I like just being able to swap between my Rampardos if one's going to die or one needs a bit more time to get powered up. Floatstone does become really handy. Choice Band is not necessary, because the Pokemon you're really knocking out clean, or Wild Crash doesn't do any base damage, just taking a knockout either way. Clean Hit doesn't really help the Mavs too much. You can play the Choice Band to being able to do a 1 damage with Strong Energy and a Choice Band knockout Lele, so you don't need the 3 energy in Wild Crash. Of course, that is definitely an option. If the rare candies are being cut, that is definitely an option you can take up. But Clean Hit, the Pokemon that you're really hitting it with do take 1 shots on it because of weakness anyway. So yeah, it's completely up to you if you want to put Choice Band in. For the energy, I am playing the 4 strong energy because against the evolutions it is kind of handy. It does help with the Miles a bit. You can definitely take 4 strong energy out for 4 fighting energy if you wish. Take out the rare candies for max elixirs to make the deck a lot more fast, because Unidentified Fossil does become a basic Pokemon, so max elixir can attach energy to it, absolutely no problem. Super Boost Energy is it's been said as a win more card, but I don't believe it. While this card is attached to a stage 2 Pokemon, it's a Rainbow Energy. At the time, if you have 3 or more stage 2 Pokemon in play, it provides every type of energy and provides 4 of them. So that is a 1 card attachment to set up Clean Hit. You can cut it if you want, if you do think it is win more, but it is such a momentum swing for the card. I think it is pretty good. So there you go, guys. Hope you got a good idea of the deck and the different choices you have available to the deck. And this is not really a professional list. This is just a list that's built up to give you sort of ideas of all the options you have available for the deck. So please check out our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Check out our sponsors. If you like Yu-Gi-Oh, check out our Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube. But for now, this is Chris from NGG signing out.